Hello creatives. So you may or may not know what time it is, but since you're watching this video, that means that you know that this is a new editing and revision vlog. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, my name is Nadia Johnson, and I am the contemporary fiction author of 3 books that are currently out in the world. One of them being titled Remembering June. Then there is the follow-up to Remembering June Seasons Change, and then Unmasked. And I am currently working on the second book in my Transgender Diva series after Unmasked, called Unseen. All the books are available on Amazon. It's been 6 years, believe it or not, since I have released a book. And I recently, as of the end of last year, decided that I needed to pivot my plan to publish what I hoped would become my 4th novel. Because it wasn't coming together for me in the way that I needed it to. And then I was watching a lot of other YouTubers at the time, or author-tubers at the time, that were talking about how you should finish your series. So I decided, well, I've got these 2 long-standing series out here that I need to finish. And so the next book that I needed to write was the second book in my Transgender Diva series. So now here we are. Another thing that you may not know about me while I'm waiting for my tea to steep in the microwave is that, oh Lord, what was I going to say? The other thing that you may not know about me is the struggles that I've had with not necessarily completing a draft of a novel, but bringing a novel to a point where I'm ready to publish it. It seems like after 2020 and after like the COVID and the whole COVID and everything, I feel like my creativity took a dip. And so I am attempting with this novel to slow edit this novel, which is something new that I'm trying, because I find that I get overwhelmed and then I get sad and depressed and then it becomes this whole spiral, and then I stop creating, and then everything becomes a mess. So what I'm trying to do this go around with this particular novel is do something different. So right now I'm going to finish up my tea, and then I am going to start working on chapter 8 of my novel, Unseen.
Thunderous applause, and I cry. My cabaret sisters join me on stage, huddling around me in a warm embrace. For a moment, I forget about Tangi and Diva. For tonight, I'm a pop star. I may not be singing to a crowd of thousands like I always dreamed, but the world feels perfect, like sateen sheets on my naked body after fantastic sex and morning after sunbeam kisses.
Hello, creatives. So today marked the end of I call it work week because I work 3 days a week for a rental car company, which I will not say which rental car company, but I work for them 3 days a week. Um, that's part of and part time, and then I do food delivery the other part of the time. And so today marked the end of my week because I only work Tuesday through Thursday. And of course, that means tonight I have to get on the computer and I have to continue to work on chapter 8. Um, Chapter 8 has been going well so far. There are a few tweaks that I've made here and there to help the story match what I want to happen moving forward. But for the most part, this chapter was kind of already what I wanted it to be for the most part. Editing and revising is probably one of the hardest things that I have ever done. And editing this book is no different. What I've realized over the years is the mistakes that I've made in editing the first 3 books that I put out into the world. So I'm hoping that with the stuff that I know now, that the editing on this book will be better. There's just so much to wrap my head around. Today, I decided that instead of an extra video in my 5 or below series, I wanted to do a post. So I posted a story that I have been working on for a minute. It was inspired by the van life YouTubers that I follow. With a twist, of course, because the whole opening installment of this story is about a woman who is a van lifer who has just gotten married and is on her honeymoon. And her husband basically pushes her off of a cliff. But she survives. She wasn't supposed to survive. But of course, her memory, for the most part, has been wiped. So she can't remember how she got there, all the events leading up to this whole thing of her falling off of this cliff until the very end of the chapter. Things start to come back to her in memories. And so, of course, the whole first part of this story is going to be told in flashbacks. And it's going to be all the events leading up to her meeting her husband and him and how their relationship has taken this sudden turn. So I posted it to YouTube. I'm hoping to get some engagement from it because I haven't decided on a title for it. And I think once I finish this story, that it may be something that I want to publish. I don't know. But for now, it sits on YouTube and as a post. And because I think I tried to do the last time I tried to do an installment story, it was an installment story about how I met and basically navigated my relationship with my ex. And it didn't seem to take off. So I wanted to try something different this time and not really read it out loud because I don't think that really took off for me, but I wanted to post it because I'm trying to try all the different mediums that they provide on YouTube and see what I can do with that. I don't have any great expectations, but I've learned that with YouTube, it is about the long game. It is about, for me now, creating stuff that I'm proud of, even if no one else gets it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to do that with this 5 or Below series and trying to do it with my writing and just everything, because as a creative person, I want to make sure that I'm always creating. I'm always putting stuff out there. I'm always putting myself out there. And hopefully I will find a community of people that gets me. That's what I'm trying to do moving forward. So anyway, I'm going to sit down and continue to work on chapter 8. I am feeling good about the momentum of this momentum of these 5 chapters that I decided to work on for the month of April, because I'm already in chapter 8, and I have 2 more days this week that I'll be writing, tomorrow and Saturday. And so it's possible that I will at least get through chapter 9 this week. It will all depend on what shape chapter 9 is in. And then by the time I get to next week, I should be able to work on chapter 10. And that'll be all the chapters that I wanted to work on for the month of April. So anyway, this has been a long clip. I'm going to go ahead and start writing. And if you want, please go check out that post of the story, because I think it's a really good story. It's a really good start to the story, and I'm going to continue to work on it. And so I would really appreciate it if you read it. So anyway, I'm going to get to the writing of the actual novel that I'm publishing. So here we go. Hello. Yes, I'm in the same bonnet as yesterday, the same pajamas, because today was a day that I didn't have to do food delivery. I didn't have to work at my other part-time position, and I just spent the whole day watching TV and refilling my creative well. But now it is time for me to get into the next part of Unseen. I did wrap up chapter 8 yesterday. There were 3 different sections in chapter 8, and I'm still, how I have been marking my chapters is if I feel pretty good about a chapter, I will mark it as green, as like it's ready to go. If I'm kind of still unsure about some things in a chapter, I'll mark it as yellow. And then if it's just really, if it really needs some work, I'll color it in like red. If I had to color chapter 8, I think I would probably color it as yellow. I'm not completely certain that it's good to go yet. But tonight I am moving on to chapter 9, and I'm pretty excited because the slow editing process that I have adopted has really helped me to stay consistent. And which is all that I ever want in my creative journey. It doesn't have to, I don't need to show up perfect. I just want to be consistent, and I haven't always been successful at it. and I still may fall off the horse. But the important thing for me is that I always get up, I always keep going, I always keep trying, because as long as I have big dreams and big goals, then and I still have breath in life, I'm going to pursue those big dreams and those big goals, regardless of whether it touches one person or it touches a million people. I my books, my stories are very important to me, and I'm trying desperately, despite life and despite everything else that goes on, to show up for myself daily and not give up on myself. So, here we are again tonight. I'm going to be in work on chapter 9, which I'm thinking chapter 9 is another flashback chapter for me. All of chapter 8 was set in present day, and so I believe I kind of go flip-flop back like that. I'll do a flashback chapter that kind of gives context to what's going on in the present day. And sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes the flashback ties into the overall story, and sometimes it ties into what happened in the present day chapter. And I like writing, particularly my Transgender Diva series this way, because I feel like in this series that the characters are where they are because of either decisions that they've made in their past or the events that have led them up to the inciting incident in the book. So now I'm going to work on chapter 9. I'm going to stop procrastinating, and I'm not really sure what chapter 9 is about because it's been a while since I looked at it. So can't really talk about that, but we're going to work on it anyway. So let's go.